Welcome to the Ozzy Award-winning and the season finale of the 7th season of Oswego Sports Update. I'm Josh Kay, and Adam, Whiteout Week is finally here.
I'm Adam Ruppick. It has been a pleasure thus far this semester. Let's get tropical. OSU starts right now.
And it's 2-1. They're going to take a look here on the replay, Dan.
Holy cow, an individual by Iserman. And
After a 13-day hiatus, the Oswego State Lakers are back in action for the most talked-about weekend in SUNYAC athletics. Whiteout Weekend. The Lakers take on the Potsdam Bears on Friday, and then the rivalry is renewed Saturday as the Lakers take on the #1 ranked Plattsburgh State Cardinals. Okay, Adam, we have heard all the hype. We have analyzed all the angles of the game. The only question remains, can the Lakers get the W?
Well, I'll tell you what, there's some things they need to do to get it. This Plattsburgh team coming in, a very dominant team, 6-0-1, 8-0-1 overall. Their second leading scorer in the SUNYAC in Alex Jensen, and all the way around, they're a dynamic full team.
Yeah.
I mean, coming in, the 31 for 32 on the penalty kill. Only one goal they've let in on the penalty kill. That's crucial. Oswego's only scored 8 goals in the third period. Hey, but they got Potsdam. That could be a good warm-up win for them. Go in, take down this Plattsburgh team at home.
Yeah, you know, I got a couple questions. First of all, who's going to start in goal? We saw Justin Gilbert against Geneseo, a little bit shaky. There were some issues, the entire team. They worked them out very nicely on Saturday against Brockport. Problem was, it was Matt Zawatsky in goal. So who's going to be there? That's the first thing we have to determine. Second thing is, who's going to be the goal scorers? We've got the freshman line that stepped up throughout the first couple weeks of the season, and I think that's so far been a success. But where are the older guys? The Chris Carrs, the Eli Kim Swallows, not playing because of injuries, but, you know, where can David Titanic step up? I think, honestly, it would be like the greatest storyline ever if he stepped up. These guys who are seniors, these juniors, upperclassmen, came back this weekend, had a great game against Plattsburgh. Problem is, Plattsburgh's only allowing 1.11 goals against this year so far. That's second in the country. And with Matthew Cadeau, a senior, really tough. It's going to be a tough battle. I'm in the air. I don't know if they can do it. I think they might.
Yeah, Cadeau being a great goaltender, the top goaltender in the SUNYAC, only letting up, like you said, that 1.1 a game, and he started most games. On Oswego's end, a few attendees in there, you know, seeing different times of the ice, so they really haven't established that mainstream guy that's going to stop pucks for them this year. But you go in, we talked about top point scorers. Galati, 15th for Oswego State in the SUNYAC. The next one doesn't go all the way down until Dylan Smith at 35th, and they're both freshmen. So we keep talking about these upperclassmen stepping up for this team. This weekend is the weekend they're going to do.
Right, here's one stat for you. Matthew Cadeau, 2-2 in the campus center. Not his favorite place to play. I'm sure most goalies don't like playing in there either. But if they can get to him early, Oswego has to capitalize when they're on the special teams. The penalty kill for Plattsburgh is really good. That's 97%. They've only allowed one power play goal, first in the country. Oswego has some weapons. I think they figured out the power play, and I think they're going to have some chances. They're going to have to convert.
Yeah, Oswego's only scored 8 goals in the third period thus far throughout the season. This game probably going to come down to the third period, so let's see if Oswego can make it happen.
Yeah.
After an impressive road trip to 2 shutout wins, the Oswego State women's hockey team dropped a tough 2-1 loss to Hamilton last Tuesday. An impressive start to the season, to say the least, as they battle SUNY Canton as part of the Whiteout Weekend. How will they fare?
Well, you know what? It was weird because I watched that game, you know, when I was home, first day of break, just relaxing, and it wasn't this Lakers team I've seen. You know, their first 7-8 games, you know, even though they had a few losses and a tie in there, they played well. Their offense was flowing. They were great on the penalty kill. For some reason, something just didn't click in that game. I don't think it's something to cause for concern. I think this team is doing really well. 88% on the penalty kill. They're doing a phenomenal job there. I think what it just comes down to was it was a long week coming off. It was a short week for them to prepare. Keep in mind, they played on Sunday, had to come back, travel back from Pittsburgh. Then they had one day off to practice prepare, then travel out to Hamilton. That's no tall order, but I think this weekend, SUNY Canton's a similar team to Oswego in how they play offense, how they play defense. Oswego has a chance.
Yeah, it's tough to see them only score that one goal. We talked about what they needed to do this season to succeed, score goals. Last year, they didn't do that as much as they needed to do. So only that one goal really kind of maybe takes the wind out of the sails a little bit. But now they got a week of practice to come back. They're coming back against a SUNY Canton team they can beat. Yeah. Similar schedule, similar records. It's going to be a battle. What you like to see, that one goal was scored by Morrison, a leading scorer from Seamont's in there as well. So those leading scorers keep getting touches. That's good for them. They need to keep that up if they want to win this weekend.
Here's one stat I'm in love with. 1 goal a game. That's all they're averaging. That's second in the country behind only Plattsburgh, who we'll see towards the end of the year. So they're doing a phenomenal job early.
Yep.
The Oswego State women's basketball team is undefeated no more. The Lakers suffered their first loss of the season Tuesday as they fell to Rochester 79-53. The Lakers still 3-1, enter SUNYAC play this weekend with a few questions still unanswered. Adam, what can we expect from this team once conference play starts?
Well, coming into this season, such great statistics this team brought in. I mean, they're averaging 73 points a game. I mean, Jem Robbins, 21 a game. Hebert also, and Sorrell in double digits. I mean, last year, these players really weren't contributing as much as they are now. So that is good to see if you're Oswego. On the other end of things, they're last in rebounding in the SUNYAC, last in turnover ratio, almost committing 16 a game. So they need to work on that.
Right.
And they are downsized, losing Stover, Josmina, those big rebounders. They are downsized down low. Eggleston's doing a decent job down there, but they got to work on other things. They got to work on really boxing out to get those rebounds. They can't be last in the rebounding in SUNYAC, and they can't turn the ball over as much. Other than that, they're scoring on the offensive end. They just got to tighten down their defense.
Yeah, here's something I noticed in the first couple of games that we watched was when Oswego forced their opponent to turn the ball over, they were successful. They got runouts, they opened up their lanes to shoot threes, and they also did a really nice job with that. They got to force turnovers, didn't against Rochester, it hurt them.
The Oswego State men's basketball team has had some time after their winning streak this weekend. They get a shot at the whiteout, taking on Plattsburgh and Potsdam, respectively. What do the Lakers have to do to keep winning?
Well, I think what happens is it's an unfortunate break for them. They were on a roll. Now they had Thanksgiving break. They have to come back. Haven't played since the 24th of November, so rust might be a factor. A lot of the stats that we see so far from SUNYAC are inflated because most teams haven't played more than 2-3 games, so Oswego stats look better, look worse. Honestly, I think Potsdam they'll be able to take care of. And Plattsburgh, so far through their first 3 games, not as impressive as we would have thought. I think Oswego has a chance to really play against this team. They're not a big rebounding team, and that's one struggle that the men's team also has, as we talked about in the women's team. I think they have a shot to win this game. They play as well as they did the first 5 games of the season. They're going to be 2-0 after this weekend.
Yeah, this SUNYAC's coming back as strong as ever. It has been since we started school here, you know, that turn where SUNYAC basketball is getting going. So I think they really need to keep scoring, play better defense. I'd like maybe see what Candelario does this weekend.
Yeah.
He's going to be a big rebounder as well as Powell.
Watch out for Ross, Player of the Year in the SUNYAC. All right, up next, we'll catch up with our Athlete of the Week. Stay tuned.
The mailbox and the traffic light. Both are ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Down 70-35, and the Cougars were getting smoked like a cheap cigar.
Welcome back to Oswego Sports Update. Adam and I are now joined by Oswego State men's hockey star Nick Rivet. Nick, thanks for joining us.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
So, I guess the first question before we talk about Whiteout Special, season finale, You guys had a long break, about a week and a half off for Thanksgiving. How do you stay mentally sharp and conditioned and ready for a big weekend like this?
We got workouts that we take home with us. It's optional whether you want to take your equipment with you. It's breaks good, especially coming up before Christmas. So just tell guys don't sit around and do nothing. Kind of stay focused, stay sharp, and make sure you come back not being sluggish and ready for another good week of practice.
This year, a whole new story for you guys, losing all those seniors, coming in, a couple early losses thus far this season, but a lot of freshmen really stepping up.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on them this year coming in?
The freshmen all done well. There's a lot of them. They make practices intense. Everyone's working for a spot. So, to see some of those guys stand out at the beginning and do well, it's good to see. And, we can just keep working away and hope other guys kind of follow that suit and we keep doing well.
Now, when you came in here as a freshman, obviously you know the expectation of the Lakers. They're a team that goes to the Frozen Four, goes to the championship, SUNYAC finals all the time. This year, you guys already have 2 losses. How do you kind of condition these new guys coming in and be like, losses are okay. There were things that happen. We can't expect to win every game. You kind of move forward and get ready for the next game.
Yeah, well, one of the biggest things for us is we're really trying to, we want to take what we can from the last, that group of guys that came in and we want to take all the positive ways in that, but we really don't want to dwell on that and compare our season to them. They were together for 4 years and they grew together as a team. And for us, making sure guys are on the right page and making the right steps forward to becoming that kind of team, that's more what we're trying to focus on. We knew it was going to be a progress from the start, so we're trying not to get upset. We're trying to stick together and keep things positive, and things will keep moving forward. So.
With this new team, a new identity has been started to shape. What would you say, in your opinion, would be this team's identity?
For now, it's just going to be a hard-working team. We have to outwork every single team we play against. Again, last year we had guys that we could rely on to get goals in the closer games. We beat teams 6-2, 5-2 last year, but we count our top line to get 3 or 4 of those goals. So. Right. So now, we got to work hard and not expect anything, and I think that's going to be the kind of look on our team is no one's going to look forward to playing against us for sure.
So whiteout weekend, obviously it's a huge thing in Oswego. As the media, we cover it a lot, and I know you guys, take it just game by game. What is the atmosphere like on the ice? We can see it in the stands, but for you guys on the ice, what's that atmosphere like, and how do you contain your composure, when you're playing?
Oh, for us, especially being, out of Oswego, it's definitely one of the biggest crowds, probably any one of us to this point have played in front of. So, it's overwhelming. It's, you always want to play in front of a big game, and, there's all those people. They're all wearing white. It's crazy loud. You got your rival team across the red line. So, you're all amped up. But, you don't want to, the best line I ever heard is you don't want to play with emotion, you want to play with passion, because emotion, you get caught up, you can do something stupid outside of your element, outside of your game, and that's when we start playing poorly. So, we want guys to be excited for it, and a lot of them are experienced for the first time, but still want to treat it as any other week and keep a cool head and work hard,
A good line like that coming in. Now, a lot of hockey on the brain. Let's go off the ice a little bit. Tell us a little about your major here at Oswego, and we were talking a little bit of NFL fanship with the Detroit Lions.
Yeah, I'm studying public justice here, and I'm trying to do a double major in French as well, being Canadian. So
there you go.
You're not really sure where that's going to go yet, but I found an interest in it, so I've been enjoying that. And I heard there's a few guys in here that don't like the Lions, so I was there on Thursday watching that game as they won. So. First one in 10 years they've won, so it was good.
Well, for all these Lions haters, their teams are probably not going to the playoffs when your team has a pretty good shot to go.
That was a pretty big win on Thursday,
yeah.
So hopefully keep our fingers crossed.
All right, Nick. Well, thanks so much for joining us. It's always a pleasure to talk to someone on the team right before Whiteout weekend.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, coming up after the break, we are going over to Dan, who will throw some stories up for grabs and a special performance later on. You don't want to miss it. Stay tuned.
Hi, we're Real Big Fish.
And you're watching WTOP 10.
Like the number.
The mailbox and the traffic light. Both are ideas from the minds of African Americans. Support the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Always here for you. And wow, $8 menu every day, only at McDonald's. These leaves are a little gauge.
Welcome back to OSU. Let's throw some topics up for grab. Dan the Man North. Good to see you again.
You too, Adam. Well, we saw some crazy stuff this weekend with the BCS standings. Florida State now holds the 1 spot, and Ohio State moves up to number 2. But perhaps the biggest change is due to Auburn's big win against Alabama. Should the SEC team get a bid to the big game, or are the undefeated teams more deserving, guys?
All right, Adam, here's what I think. SEC Conference, they are always the top dog when it comes to football. Every year, they're producing teams that win championships. There's a bias for that. I understand that. I know what it's like to be an SEC team, have one loss, and then you go. What I think right now is it has to be Ohio State. 12-0, second into BCS. I know there's a weaker schedule, but the problem that we're seeing right now is that Auburn has a loss. I think teams are forgetting that Auburn has a loss. If we looked at the strength of schedule for Florida State is lower than it is for Ohio State. If we look at adjustment win percentage, that's what it is based on their wins and where they would have been. Florida State is lower. So if we're talking about Ohio State not being in there, I think Ohio State over Florida State, if anything, but it still should be the undefeated teams.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Florida State, their best wins are Clemson and Miami. Ohio State's best win is Northwestern. Then you got undefeated Northern Illinois. If the debate of undefeated teams should be there, Northern Illinois, but I mean, they haven't even cracked the top 10. Weak schedule, but they're playing good football to say the least. Then you look, Alabama hasn't beaten a top 10 team. They did Texas A&M before when they were in the top 10. Now they're out. So they haven't beaten a top 10 team. Auburn beat Alabama, number 1 team. So I pick Auburn over Alabama right now, but you can't put one of those in if Florida State and Ohio State win out. They got to go.
I like the BCS title game, but we got a playoff system coming. Might work. Dan.
Sticking with some BCS, Syracuse won this past weekend, pulling out one of the many great finishes, which makes them 6-6. Like other teams, this makes them bowl eligible because they have a .500 record. Should teams be considered for a bowl game with only 6 wins on the year?
I mean, right now in this bowl system, why not?
Right.
Why not?
Yeah.
But get as many teams in that postseason play as you can. It creates a lot of good things. It creates these teams, these kids, another opportunity to play in a high-profile game. It's going to get publicity. Schools are going to get money for it.
Sure.
It's a win-win-win on everyone's part in this bowl system. Why not give everyone a chance?
You know what? The issue is right now is there's more teams that are bowl eligible than they have bowl spots. So that's why the debate is, should it be 6-6 or should you have to win 7 games?
Yeah.
You know, if you look at Syracuse cases, they're one of 2 teams in the FBS to not allow a 100-yard rusher the entire season. Even though they went 6-6, weak schedule, the team offense kind of struggled a little bit, first-year head coach. There's still merit there for teams, so it has to be 6-6. What you do is you sign on more bowl games. There are companies out there who want it. The schools will love it. The fans will travel. I think every team has to, if that's the rule, 6-6 is bowl eligible, they have to be able to be in a bowl game.
The Haynes Underwear Bowl.
That's a good one.
Recent reports have shown that the New York Yankees are far, far away from reaching a deal with star second baseman Robinson Cano. The Bronx Bombers and Cano are about $80 million apart. The Yanks are around $170 million right now, and Cano wants $252 million. which number is closer to Cano's worth to the Yankees?
Okay, and I did a little bit of math, and I was searching for what should happen. I think we're both in agreement that for New York to win, they need to sign Cano. That's the agreement. I think the selling point for the Yankees should be they don't need a 10-year deal, and I think if Cano expects that, no team will give it to him. I like 8 years, $220 for an option for a 9. Roughly, that's about $24 million a year, less than what the A-Rod with the Teixeira deals were. And I think that's doable. I think Cano should take that deal in an age where he's 31 and he's in the prime of his contract. Those last 4 years, I don't know where he should be. I think he should expect that in Jay-Z. I know it's money, but you gotta go with the years.
Hey, the Hove talks dollars. The Hove talks dollars, that's for sure. I mean, yes, I agree. Robinson Cano is needed for this Yankees team. Without him, total rebuilding, and they can't have that. As a Yankees nation, they can't have that. A total rebuild. They need some superstar still on there. You know, they've been grateful for all these years with Derek Jeter. Now, Robinson Cano could potentially turn into something like a Derek Jeter for the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
With that, I think the Yankees really need to give him this money. Not all of it. I like your deal. Your deal said it best. I was around that 220 range with that option for the 9th year. 10 years, a lot can happen in 10 years, especially with health and playing all those games in the baseball season. But the Yankees need Robinson Cano. Maybe have to write a little bigger check than they need to, but it'll be worth it.
Bottom line, have to sign him. All right, coming up on Oswego Sports Update, we'll have a special performance to close out our semester with OSU's own. You won't want to miss it.
Hi, I'm CNN's Rob Marciano, and you're watching WTOP 10, your television station.
Welcome back. Dan, we got a coin toss. What you got?
Alrighty, let's kick things off with the Indiana Pacers. They're 16-1 right now, and Roy Hibbert doesn't even know it. He says that they are not worried about their record and are just a team on a mission. Guys, the Pacers are cruising. You got this team higher or lower than 19 losses this season?
I think that's right on the line. You know, we were talking about the Heat at the beginning of the year with 20 losses. I think Indiana, when it comes down to it, a couple of iffy games against the Heat. They still got a few more against the Bulls. There are a couple teams in the East that will compete with them. If they were in the West, I would say more. I'm going to say less. I say 18 losses is going to be a record year for Indiana.
I'm gonna say more. But only 20.
Okay.
I'm only giving them the 20 because they are a very, very good team. But with that, I mean, if Granger comes back, they could be very dangerous. Paul George, is he going to live up all this
so far?
Every single game all year?
Yeah,
that's what
so
you got to
far.
say.
Dan. All right, Dan, what do you got for us?
Well, we've been talking about how wild the NFC East has been all year long, and it has calmed down some. Well, Okay, not really. It's clearly going to be a fight to the finish, and the leader, Dallas, right now is 7-5. They own the tiebreak over Philadelphia, who is also 7-5, and the G-men are in third at 5-7. Does the winner of this division go over or under 9 wins on the season, guys?
I'm going to say right on the money with 9 wins, because with this, whoever wins that division, whether it's Philadelphia or Dallas, they're going to get 2 wins. I think Philadelphia had Minnesota on their schedule, and they might beat Dallas. Dallas, someone's going to win that Dallas-Philadelphia game.
Of course.
So one of them's going to have at least 8. So I say 9.
You know what? I think this is a shocker. This is going to be a shocker to you. I say the winner's going to have 10 games. I'm going to go over. I think one of these 2 teams is going to get really hot. I know the schedules are a little iffy, but the way Dallas's offense is played, defense is starting to get healthy. And Nick Foles, are you kidding me? 19 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. That right there in and of itself is eye-opening. One of these teams is going to get hot, but you know what's going to happen? As it always does in the NFC, it's going to come down to the final game
against Philadelphia and Dallas.
Is Tony Romo going to be able to come through? That's the question, and I think yes. Silence those critics. I think he's got a chance.
Romo's time,
absolutely.
baby.
All right, well, we are joined now tonight by a special guest. He is a producer for OSU, and he is going to perform a live tribute to the entire 7th season of OSU. Pat, we've had you all semester long. The stage is all yours, buddy. Take it away.
So let's rock TOP with a highlight reel from the campus rink to old magazine. Oswego Sports Update. Give you the news. As we recap events we've come across, Dan will throw it up for another coin toss. And an Ozzie award-winning heading up to Oz, end of the season. OSU has got the highlights for your television. For sports is sadly over, but it's the winter time now. Campus center's back to hockey, slew of freshmen are in that. McZeal basketball is coming in full swing. We're giving the best sportsmen around this town. So rock TOP with a highlight reel from the hockey rink to old man. As we recap events we've come across, Dan will throw it up for another coin toss. Just one more report from the world of national sports. 211 games of air-eyeless baseball. The Red Sox will be the champions of the world. The Bills, they will choke. Get another mid-grade draft pick. I'm Peyton Manning will lose in the snow. So it's rock TOP with a highlight reel from the hockey rink to the old magazine. Oswego Sports Update will give you the news. As we recap events we've come across, Dan will throw it up for another coin toss. Now over to Adam and Josh, take it down to the wire. Woo!
Well, the show is almost over, so with about 2 minutes to go, hey, that was a great performance. We're going down to the wire.
Anthony Davis suffered a fractured hand and is out another wash season for the Pelicans.
You know what? I don't know. I think they still have a chance. I think there are things that have to improve, but at the end, I think they have a chance. Kobe says he can play as early as Friday. Would it be wise for the Lakers to let him play?
Kobe doing work, 2-4 on his shirt. The greatest on the court. Old-time Yankee Phil Hughes is headed to the Twins. Good fit?
Well, if they want mediocre pitching, yeah, it's a good fit. They haven't had a good starter in about 5-6 years, so I don't know about that one. Not a fan. In honor of No Shade November ending, Dave Ortiz auctioned off his beard for almost $11,000. Adam, how much do you think my beard would go for?
Well, judging the sides and the chin, about $100.
I'll take it as a college kid. All right, Dan, real quick, any mistakes?
Well, I know my mustache would have been worth a lot of money. Let me just tell you that. I got nothing. Pat, you killed that song, man. Love it.
Yeah, great.
All right,
Great.
So Adam, over break, give us one thing to watch for this entire break.
Oh, the whole Christmas break.
The whole Christmas break.
The BCS championship game.
Hopefully it's the 2 undefeated teams, which will happen. I'm watching NBA Christmas Day basketball. It's always a good thing. I'm not a fan of those jerseys, though. For some reason, not technically something I want to see. But hey, that's all the time we got. Have a good night.